You have to choose the route for you and not allow anybody else to tell you. I know people around will always be like, you should do this, you should do this. They're giving you all these options, but you have to do what you feel is best for you, your body, and because you're not going to be the same. Everybody, there's so many different types of breast cancer. There's so many different types of cancer. There's so many different treatments. There's so many different things. So you have to research yourself, be an advocate for yourself, really stand on business for yourself, and just know that you're not in this alone. Because even though I felt alone, I had a friend all the way in Buffalo, New York, who was cheering me on. Do you know when I had to shave my head because the hair was falling faster? I watched her get on live and shave her head with me because she stood in solidarity with me, and we were bald together. And today she came here for my very first party to stand with me while I get to announce to people that I no longer have cancer, because they told me months ago I would have it for the next 5 years. And then they did a body scan because I switched care, like I said, and they told me there is no evidence of disease. So I don't have to say I have cancer. I can now say I'm free. And now I want to give that to somebody else, because they will make you feel less than. People will make you feel like you aren't worthy of it. And some people can throw cancer back at you like you did X, Y, and Z. This is what you deserve. I heard that so many times in this fight. But I stood by myself, and I met some amazing, beautiful women. And I met a man who was fighting cancer. And these people helped inspire me to keep going when I felt like it was ready. I couldn't do it no more. I'm done. But they kept giving me hope, and I'm here today, and I'm still fighting. You know, there's always chance for reoccurrence, but we don't put that in our mindset. You got to always claim that you are okay. You got to have it on your vision board. You got to talk to yourself and really encourage yourself daily, because it's hard. It's hard. Cancer will eat away at your mind. It really will. And I'm so glad and honored to be on this platform today. My journey is not over. It's just beginning, and I'm super excited to continue to share. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Look at your cheerleader. Your cheerleader is right there. Oh my gosh. Tell her we are also taking her. She's also my sister. So we need to talk on the side. I want to take her as my sister too. Guys, you've heard, man. Do you know when you are talking, I think it's Trinity. She wrote down Drizzle. Drizzle wrote down here and she said, the moment there is lack, you sense lack of communication, that is the moment you need to stop and move. You know, because especially with cancer, because cancer is not like any other stuff that are bacterial or viral. They can write something and you go to the pharmacy. This is your cells, and you have to make sure that you control them, because you control with your mind and you control how you react to it. And if the medical team is not cooperating with you, then they make the recovery process really, really difficult. You know, and I really just I want to get a plate out for my husband. He never gets behind the camera here, so I have to make sure that everything is well set for him to take lunch. He just walked in. So, because I think she commented at your experience with the first doctor, you know, the way they did and the way the tumor got lost. And that scared me in a way. I'm like, how can a tumor just get lost?
Exactly. My frustration, like, that was my whole point of being. So I could go to pathology, so you could tell me some answers, like give me for real what it is, what is it, you know, what's going on with my body, how did this happen? Because from what I hear now is nipple discharge was one of the first signs. So somebody explain something, and then for me to get it and it spread, it makes me feel like that was cancer. They didn't know. They lost it, and then it spread throughout my body.
That's my point, because they lost it, they left it there, and it did spread and go to the other side. And that's malpractice. That's malpractice that even suable. You know, and I hope, was there an explanation? Dollar Bills has asked, was there an explanation at all?
It was just an apology. They literally just told me, "I'm so sorry. We don't know what happened. We are gonna change now our transfer technique and require there be 3 sign-offs before it gets to pathology." Which to me, that doesn't make me feel any better. They gave me a bottled water and sent me on my day like that was supposed to be it. They've never once treated me any better since then. I should have at least been cared for rightly when I came back, but they treated me so bad. It was so bad. I was asked to be in a breast cancer calendar, and I had to see this particular oncologist at the night of like the reveal of the calendar girls type of thing. And it was a huge event. It was a very nice event, but he was there, and seeing him like made me so angry. I didn't sue them because I didn't know if I could. I still didn't know what I could or couldn't do because I don't know much about that. And I'll be, to be completely honest, I always feel like, well, you sign all that stuff saying you can or can't sue. So I didn't know if I had a legal claim or not. I still don't know anything. I just was being treated so bad. I was crying all the time going to and from treatment that I just stopped wanting to care to go. And so I literally just switched this year. And it's 2024. So like I literally just switched all of it. So that's how I got the new body scan. That's how I got the no evidence of disease, because I have a whole new oncologist. But them people, I don't trust them no more. And I couldn't keep going there. Every time I went, it was like a feeling of discomfort and like I wasn't wanted there. I don't know how else to describe it. I just felt so cold, like they didn't want me there. It felt like you know how you can feel when people are talking badly about you? That's how kind of how the sense I got. Like even on my last day of chemo, they put me through so many ringers, and I know the process. Like you get used to the habit, and there's a certain protocol. And when I was there my last day, normally every single time they put you on the machine and they draw your blood when you first get there, so that they can make sure that your levels are okay, that you can even withstand chemo. Then after the lab results come back, then they begin to start prepping you for the chemo medication, getting your IV in, all these things. And it takes a while for that. So typically it's like an hour or so before chemo even really begins. This particular day, they had messed up the scheduling so many times that day that when I got there, I was getting more and more frustrated. I started crying, like I was crying profusely, and the thing, like, this is frustrating. Like, you guys have sent me home, brought me back, because you guys keep messing up. So they were rushing now. When I seen the oncologist, I'm trying to express to him how frustrated I am with his people. And he brushed me off. He was like, "I don't have time for this. You're late." No, I wasn't late. So it just became a thing. Like he kind of brushed me off. He wouldn't talk to me either. Literally 15 minutes after I sat in the chair, they drew my blood, and then they were starting my IV. I was like, "Don't you need to wait for my blood work to come back?" "Oh, it came back already." It came back within 5 minutes or so. Like, huh? And normally anytime you do blood work there, the lab results come to my phone the same time. So every single time I could count literally when my phone would go off, I knew the lab work was in, and I could see the tech coming back, getting ready to prep me for chemo. So this time my phone never went off. When my phone finally went off and said my labs are ready, I already had my first bag of chemo going into me. It was literally 30 minutes after arrival. Like 30 minutes after arrival.
You know what I think? I'm thinking they know and they're afraid that you could sue them. And they're not actually seeing you acting. And then someone had said, DeJesus said you could still consult a lawyer for free. You know, they have that free consultation. I remember with my delay here in Houston, with the doctor that delayed me, I did consult a lawyer, and they're the ones that advised me, "Oh, the Texas government has made it so hard to sue medical practitioners and all that." You may want to find out, because you never know. Your action, as long as it is within the bracket of free, because most lawyers, they see a case and they know this case, that they actually kind of know the result of that case. And many of them will say, "You know what, you don't pay me now. You will pay me with the results, you know, with the verdict." At the end, they take a certain percentage of the verdict. consult the free consultation ones and find out if there is a case there, because they know. You speaking out and going forward may actually be saving the lives of many. It may be saving the lives of many because, number one, tumors don't just get lost. That is medical malpractice, and that particular malpractice led to something else. Many times it would be something different if it did not lead to. But yes, there was a tumor. Yes, I went in for a procedure. Yes, when I woke up. However, when I woke up, they said they could not find the tumor that they went in for.
I'm in Michigan.
Yeah, see? Yeah. Find out, please. Don't let this go away. Leave a legacy behind of this woman that took the lives of other people and thought about those lives and decided to put a stop to maybe a culture that happens continually. Because if they say they have they have doctors before meeting with you, how then were they able to make such nasty and major mistakes if they had, a doctor's conference all the time? I doubt.
Exactly.
I doubt it. Now, how has this affected your relationship? Not relationships. You have close friends, but then other people. Do you think cancer journey has affected how you relate with other people or how they relate with you? For instance, at the workplace or, any social place that you used to go to. Do you see a difference in the environments?
Yeah, most people, I feel like they view me and they feel like sympathy. Like they see me and they're like, "Oh my, how are you? How are you doing?" And then I lost a lot of people because a lot of people were like, "Cancer's too much to deal with. Maybe she's dying." I don't know. They were gone. All the friends, all the people, all the house parties, all the things, they were all gone. And the people that I depended on, majority of them didn't even live in the same state as me. So they helped me by being my encouragement, my strength. I had this lady mailing me stuff or Uber eating me food, like all the way from Texas, and it meant so much because there were days I didn't know what me and my son were even going to eat. Like I couldn't barely walk. I couldn't do nothing. And there were people that I barely knew, if you want to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Like we met through either bedroom candy or we virtually met. And all the people in my city that were here that didn't. They would not. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, didn't, nothing, nada. Okay? It was just me. And it was very harsh. It felt like a harsh reality. I felt alone. I felt so alone at times. And then it was those people that weren't in the same state, the same city, that constantly reached out. Watching my friend, my lovely, amazing friend, coming to my aid and watching me go through, and I'm crying to her about losing my hair because I thought my hair was my glory. I had really long hair. Like that's all I've known myself as is Brandy with the long hair. And I've never thought one day I wouldn't have any hair. So it was kind of a culture shock. And people always tell you, like, when you're getting ready for a double mastectomy, like, oh, it's just a piece of your body. It's the piece of my body that made me feel sexy when I wanted to. It was the piece of my body that I thought I could perk up and get out of a speeding ticket if I wanted to. It was the piece of the body that I liked. Okay, this was my piece of my body that you're taking away. So yeah, it was hard to one day be like, no, they're going away. And they failed me too, So it was a learning lesson. It was a humbling lesson, but I feel like through it all, I grew as a person. And how is cancer that? Like, how does that happen? But it is. It makes you grow up. It makes you face hard truths. It makes you really dig deep inside and pull out those things that you didn't even know you were capable of. The times when you felt like you couldn't be all and everything else seems superficial now. I don't complain about the things I used to complain about because, baby, I be cancer. So no, that doesn't matter to me. What somebody says or does behind my back or what people think about me can no longer faze me. The people that weren't there, it doesn't bother me no more because I was there for me. God was there for me. He carried me through. And I remember the poem and the Footprints poem. And I remember growing up and reading it on my mom's wall as a child. I remember reading the poem all the time and never fully understanding until I was told I had cancer. And I can promise you, the days that I couldn't walk, he carried me. The days I couldn't see and know where my help was coming from, I would be thinking in my mind, God, I know you can do it. And then boom, a knock on the door. Hey, I was thinking about you and I just wanted to drop this off. And it would be just what I needed in that moment. I didn't do anything glorious for him to treat me this way. He just made sure he provided for all my needs. And even now, in the midst of facing eviction and all these things, every single time I think this is the moment, because cancer has won it all, that's taken me through a financial burden. I have to make sure I have health insurance. And then I think about the women who have Medicaid, because I have health insurance and I know what I get. What are they going through? Because that can't feel good. Because I know when my kids went from Medicaid to Blue Care Network, I seen the transition. Months prior, when they had Medicaid and I tried to make a doctor's appointment, they couldn't get in for months. But when I called the doctor, the very same doctor's office, and said, my kids now have Blue Care Network and they need a physical. Oh, can you come in tomorrow? It's a difference. It's a difference. And that's a tragedy to me. So I want to be that person that helps those. I want to create a foundation that helps the women after cancer, because they'll help you while you have cancer. But what happens when all that is gone? And now you got to pick up the pieces and find your life again. Now you got to start working again, but you're in so much debt. You're in so much hole. So I want to help that person. I want that. I want to be that person. I want to be the person that walks that person through the next phase, because you need support in that moment too. They don't want to talk about that. They don't tell you about that, but it gets lonely at the end. When you finally won and you finally feel like I'm cancer free, now you have to become debt free.
Yes. Wow. Wow, man. You know, you're speaking, and I'm just looking at the strength in you. You spoke about something that is cross it's international, cross cultural, cross national, and that brings us to the stigma. You've had me talk about, I come here every day the way I am, taking all insults, taking all kind of everything thrown up at me, because I am tired of the stigma that comes with cancer. I am so tired. And you say the statement. They say, cancer is enough for me. Cancer is enough. Oh man, I can't deal with cancer. And literally, friends walk away from you. Friends that you have spent years knowing, they turn their backs on you. Guys, we see it every day. We are not here for a pity. We are actually not pleading for them to come back. No, we are not asking them to come back. But we are creating awareness to anyone who is walking into this, who is walking into cancer, who was diagnosed yesterday, Friday, who is going to be diagnosed, who did her biopsy or his biopsy, because men also get breast cancer, get cancer, all types of cancer. You're waiting for a biopsy and could turn positive. We are telling you some of the things to expect. And Mel, I tell you the truth. They could have been real friends. I'm telling you the truth. And when I was speaking to a psychiatrist, Mel, I am cutting them some slack. I never used to cut them some slack. And I want to say the truth, even right now, some of them could be coming in to watch me using their pseudos. I want to tell them the truth. Not that I will accept them back, I won't. But I want to tell them that I know that some of them were real friends. Let me explain to you, and Brandy will say her opinion on this. Cancer, if you don't understand it well and you don't accept and you don't go through counseling, for some people like I went through counseling, even for you who has been diagnosed, you can be in denial. I was in denial. I asked the doctors to put me down because of cancer that I grew up knowing. I knew, this is it. Why am I wasting time? This is it. And so, for most of the friends that I knew, especially growing up in Kenya, I grew up in not riches, but a lot of poverty and all that. And because of what they know of cancer, in their mind, for many from Kenya, they know, look, Diana is going to die. And if I stay there with her, reaching out to her all the time, I don't have the words to tell a dying person. So I'd rather keep myself off because it will be too much for me. It was even too much to my sister who took care of me, my mother who took care of me, my brother, because it is painful. So you don't know, what are you going to cry with the person? What are you going to do? So many of them choose the cowardly route. I cut them some slack, but I tell them that is a cowardly route. Because even with strangers, I never take the cowardly route. A stranger, even right now when I've done here, I'm going to call a lady in Seattle. A lady that is going through a hard time with her cancer right now. She actually wanted to be on a flight to come and look for me in Texas, in Oklahoma. She said, Diana, I want to come and see you in Oklahoma. I say, you don't have to. I will give you a call on the weekend. This is a woman who I believe many people have turned their faces off her. And she just needs somebody to listen to her, somebody to talk to her, somebody to help her think about the decision she's making. That is all somebody needs. A cancer patient is not a burden. And even if they look like they're a burden, they don't wish to be like that. So if you ever turned your back on a friend that you grew up with, a friend you went to high school with, a friend you worked with, just because they were diagnosed with cancer, I cut you some slack, but you are a coward. And we don't want you back, but we see you coming back. I see some of them coming back, reaching out to me, writing to me, but I tell you what, guys, when even a dog, you're not a dog, you will not vomit and lick it back. You will want to stick around with people who stand with you in sickness and in health, in pain, in riches and in poverty, in lack and when somebody has it. And what do we do when you're strong together? And that's what we are doing, Brandy. We have and form our community. Because there are people who don't have people to stand with. But guess what? We are going to be touring places together. We are going to be celebrating birthdays together. We are going to have, what are those parties that kids normally have? We are going to have those pajama parties in the evening on Zoom. We are going to cry with those that are crying and then tell them, now wipe those tears and wake up. Get up, get up. Because that is who we are. When friends turn off their face, you are blessed. Let me tell you, the friends that I have gained after cancer, they are more genuine than most of the ones I had before cancer. I am telling you the truth. Because they have come when I am like this. There's nothing they're coming like, look, this is me. Take me or leave me, this is me. And then I still see them coming in. I still see them coming. Those are friends. Brandy, what do you, I'm going to let you comment on that, but Van said, come and join me in Jamaica for our cancer walk. And